Alright everybody, so for this trick, we're just going to have the audience select just a couple of cards together here that are in the middle of the deck. So let's say they picked these two. We've got a red 5 and a red 4 here, okay? So we're just going to place them in some different spots of the deck. Not very special cards, pretty unassuming cards. They weren't an ace or a king or anything, because it was just a random choice, right? But did you notice what happened in that moment they got mixed in the deck? Something happened. I think the deck feels just about 2 cards lighter. Now, watch, if I just snap my fingers here, we actually have 2 cards in my wallet. And this could be your pocket or the spectator's pocket that they just somehow ended up in. The red 4 and the red 5 transferred from out of the deck. Here's the secret to this trick from the original Expert at the Card Table book by S.W. Erdnase. This uses a principle called sight dupes or sight duplicates. In other words, we're using the 2 red 4s and the 2 red 5s, and the audience is going to forget which was which. But hang on a sec, don't knock this till you try it, because this secret I think is one of the most disappointing, maybe the first you learn of it. It just feels like it won't work, right? But that's why you need every step of the way on this trick and not just the knowledge of the secret, so that you can actually use it to good effect. I don't want you to count this out just yet. Give it a shot, see how it goes. So the idea is that you're putting 2 same colored cards together, and I actually like the idea of doing it with red cards. I think that's almost more glaring, I don't know, and in that way it might kind of get fuzzier to them in their memory which was what. And then the other 2 are going to be prepared somewhere. Now, Erdnase in his book talked about palming them off the top and, maybe palming them back onto the deck. I think a simpler thing you could do is have these just loaded in the box, have them loaded in a wallet like I did, or if you are really adept at loading, you could load these into other people's pockets, which he talked about in his book as well. So I think the simple thing is just having it in a spot where it's just ready to go. But if you want, you can go, the palming method as well. That leaves you with the other 2 that you're going to have on top. And in the demonstration, I just did kind of a pseudo classic force, but I think an easy one to recommend is a cross-cut force. I explain it in more detail in another video, but in short, you're going to ask the audience to cut the deck into 2 piles, place this one to the side, and say with your words, literally you're going to say the words, we're just going to mark where you cut. That is a lie, but psychologically, that's just how this force works. It kind of goes over people's heads. So say, we're going to mark where you cut, and then for just a moment, you need to say something about the trick. So something you might say for this is just the fact that, hey, I didn't cut these cards, you cut them yourself, is that right? I didn't tell you to do anything beforehand, this is a truly kind of random choice that you just made, is that right? And they'll say yes, and that allows you just a moment to get back to the cards, and they'll have forgotten things because of the idea of time misdirection. So now when we come back, they don't remember which half is which, and you can say, let's take a look at the cards you cut to, and you're going to place both of these cards in your hand, pull them out. And this is one where we're all looking at them. That allows you to kind of define the narrative. So if you just showed it to them, they might memorize the suit. You don't want them to memorize these too closely. And so you're just going to say, all right, let's take a look at these. All right, red 5, red 4. All right, these 2 buddies, they're going to go back in the deck. So the fact that these are unassuming cards, they're not face cards, whatever, and the fact that you said, once again, in your own pattern and script, it's important to say like, all right, we got a red 5 and a red 4, just 2 random cards here, and you're kind of showing them quickly, and you're acting really casually with them. That's really going to paint the picture of, now in the spectator's head, these are 2 red cards, one of them's a 5, one of them's a 4, diamonds and hearts, which one? It's not really important. And so that's the psychology of the sight duplicate. So we turn them over, it's like, all right, we got a red 5 and a red 4 here. Let's just place them in 2 separate parts of the deck. Now, at this point, you can do that however you'd like. You can place them in. And the great thing is you can even have the audience member shuffle the deck, and they will do so. And then you can reveal the other 2 cards wherever they may be. Wanted to take a quick moment to thank my channel member. I appreciate it so much. At the supporter tier, members get exclusive badges. And if you want to get videos early, you can also join at the insider tier. Something else I'm going to start adding to the insider tier as well is bonus tricks, bonus tutorials. Now, this isn't even listed as one of the rewards. This is just something that when I'm able to, I will add so that I can build out a library there of exclusive tutorials for those of you that are on the insider tier. I'm going to shoot for adding a new one monthly, but you'll get a heads up from me if there's one coming. What I do on this channel is I go back through the Magic classics, I go back through the books, and I pick out tricks and moves that I think you'd enjoy learning here in video format. So these are public domain resources. Anybody could read them. Anybody could access them online or at the library. But the value I hope I'm providing is by giving you this video teaching and by giving my insights. And so the bonus tricks section on my membership is just a little bit more of that. I'm still teaching free tricks on here, but I'm just adding some more to say thank you. Because this month we're focusing on Erdnase Expert at the Card Table, the bonus video this month for the Insider tier is going to be focused on some different methods of controlling the card. So we have a pretty bold and audacious false cut that requires a little bit of courage to use. And I think it's a genius use of psychology. We're also going to cover a false running cut to the table, as well as methods for crimping the deck. Now, if you've never heard of crimps before, it's a little method you're able to use to where you can actually place the deck down. You don't have a pinky break in play, and you're able to cut straight to the selected card or the card you're wanting to control. So again, this is just a little way to say thank you. And of course, it's a way to support me, so you can check that out there if you'd like. Now, if you want to keep this all within the deck, you can actually have all 4 of those cards on top. And then after the other 2 are forced and placed in the middle, you can act like they've come back to the top. I think that's cool too. Regardless, similar with the force, the time misdirection might help you also get away with this moment here. So by saying red 5, red 4, by kind of just showing them quickly before placing them into the deck, and then by giving a little bit of time before you reveal them, I think that will help. Ironically though, I think it helps to not allow too much time to pass, just to keep that trick kind of in the zone of what it is. I think if you over dramatize what's about to happen to them, it might accidentally kind of undercut itself later. So I think by still keeping it quick enough, but you allow just enough time to maybe they don't remember the blur of which suit was which, then you can reveal that they've come to the top. And I think that's a nice little trick there. So this is just a cool principle from Erdnase. Again, I'd encourage you, don't knock it till you try it. Give it a shot, practice those moments, and just see how it goes. I don't think this is a closer trick at all. I think you should string this along within a group of tricks. And if you do that, I think it could be a nice little building block within a set of routines. So there you go. Like this video if you liked this trick. Subscribe for more magic content. We're doing tricks from the Expert at the Card Table book this month, so I hope you enjoy. But until next time, keep enjoying your magic, stay a hobbyist at heart, and I'll see you guys in the next video.